If you look at all the information we've been able to gather so far, it is a natural step forward that you would have to go to an impeachment inquiry. That provides Congress the apex of legal power to get all the information they need. You've got to get to be able to answer that to the American public. The American public deserves that answer.
Interesting words there from the House Speaker. The White House, they might finally be realizing the threat of impeachment is real. NBC reporting that the administration set up a war room of 24 lawyers, legislative aides, and communication staffers to lead a, quote, aggressive response. Joining us now is Jonathan Turley, professor of law at George Washington University and a Fox News contributor, and one of the most brilliant analysts I think we have here at Fox News. It's an honor to have you, Jonathan Turley.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Well, I mean it, Jonathan.
For all of that.
I mean that a lot. But this war room, which is conventional, Trump had one, he had a team that, put out PR, and you respond to an impeachment inquiry. So that's not abnormal. But what is interesting to me here is the Biden war room want to model themselves after the Clinton 1998 impeachment model. And they say Biden officials believe they are even better positioned to win the battle of public opinion than Clinton. What do you think?
Well, the problem is that they're establishing this war room before a war. They could easily avoid an impeachment inquiry by simply asking the National Archives to release this information, for the president to release information from his own financial accounts, and that would really forestall the need to have an inquiry. It's only because they have been stonewalling that Congress has very little choice, in my view, but to move forward. I mean, consider what Congress has right now. I mean, even the media is now accepting that there has been an influence peddling operation conducted by Hunter Biden, by his uncle, and by others, worth tens of millions of dollars from foreign sources. The Washington Post recently admitted that the president has been lying about his son's business dealings in China. Devin Archer, an associate of Hunter, said that it was patently false what the president's been telling the public for years, that he had no knowledge of their business dealings. So what is Congress supposed to do? Now, if they go to an impeachment inquiry, they're going to win. If they go to court and demand these emails, demand the financial records, they're going to win. The Democrats went to court to insist on Trump's banking records. So the question I have again is, why set up a war room if you don't have to have a war? Why not be transparent? If all these emails are trivialities, then have them released and put it to rest. But right now, we've got $20 million or more passing through a labyrinth of accounts and shell corporations to Biden family members. The president benefits from that, right? He's a person that is worth more than $8 million. The people at his age are usually trying to create financial legacies for their family. They're not trying to gather more money in their personal accounts. That's a benefit. But we also don't know if the president has gotten direct benefits. The Democrats are now arguing, okay, look, there was influence peddling, but it was an illusion. How do you know that? I mean, the obligation of Congress is to find answers to those questions.
Yeah, and Professor Turley, I only have a few moments here, but the impeachment inquiry, as I understand it, which McCarthy made news today by suggesting he would allow a vote for the impeachment inquiry, contrast that to Pelosi, who just by proclamation said impeachment inquiry begin, that would allow Congress to have expanded powers to gain access to some of those records. Is that right?
That's right. And I've spoken to the Speaker and other members, and they're going about this right. They're not repeating the mistakes of the Democrats. An impeachment inquiry does not mean an impeachment's inevitable, but it means the House is going to go forward until they get answers to these questions.
Professor Turley, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.